to move forward. I'm not distracted, but you know, I'm in the I don't know where I am. I like at the conference and I like snuck behind like some kind of divider. So I'm just like sitting in a dark room while there's like people yelling next to me. So it's like not super distracting, but it is a little challenging. I will pass it to Ashley.
Thanks, Lauren. My intentions for the call are just to catch up after being out and I don't have any distractions really. There's this clock that chimes really loudly every 15 minutes, but other than that, that's my only distraction. And I will pass it to Ben.
Great. My intentions are to catch up on comms and get some info on the poll, so I add that to the project video. No distractions right now, and I will pass to Mitch.
Thanks, Benz. No intentions for the call. I don't think I've been to a comms call for several months, so I thought I'd just sit here and lurk. I will pass it to Gotabe.
Thanks, Mitch. Well, my intentions for the call are, well, I wrote some things in the agenda, but basically, I want to see how I can help on the NICE, on the Angel Vault, on the Gift Power launch. I know this is very important. And then I have some other things that we can talk about if there's time. And I have no distractions. Thank you. I'll pass it to, let's see, Ahmad.
Hey, thanks, Katabi. Yeah, so my intentions are to catch up like everyone else. I haven't been to a comms call in a couple of weeks. And I also just want to see how I can help with all of these launches that we're doing. This is really cool. Maybe there's a way we can combine them into one mega launch or something. I don't know, just an idea. My distractions are, this is the 7th meeting that I have today, so I'm a bit tired, but I'm excited. Let me pass it on to Suga.
I'm volunteering at ECC right now, and I'm sitting right by the stage, so that's my distraction. Intention is I'm here to catch up as best I can while facilitating a stage. I'll pass it back to Corey.
Thank you. I don't know if I'm on mute. Am I on mute? I'm not. Okay, cool. All right, nice. Did we get everyone here? I'll just pass it to Rainer real quick. Check in with you.
My intention is to catch up. Haven't spoken to comms people since ETH Barcelona, and my distraction is that I also still feel a bit unwell. But thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, I think we got everybody. If not, can you please just let us know?
Yeah, me.
Oh yes, I see too, both of you. Okay, yeah. I don't know, Jess, you want to go ahead first?
Thanks. I was just distracted by my hunger because it was becoming a headache. So I just tried to feed myself while I'm here with you, trying to keep myself on track, see where else I can contribute, and that's it. Let's go.
Okay, thank you. All right, great. So I'll go ahead to this. We have an extensive agenda today. And, from my understanding, I think talking about these new launches is probably the high priority thing on the list here. As you mentioned also, Lauren, I think ETH Barcelona is still top of mind because it's just relevant content now with the timing. So I was thinking, why don't we go ahead and start by regrouping on these launches that are coming up. I understand the NICE token, for instance, is supposed to launch by the end of this week, which is like very soon. And I think you listed out like Angel in 2 weeks and Give within the next few weeks, right? So, Lauren, does it make sense for me to pass this to you for a minute to launch a
Yeah.
conversation around this?
Definitely. Yeah, so it's great that Mitch is here so we can just check in and coordinate around NICE. So the NICE token, if you don't know what it is, it's like when you donate right now XDAI or wrapped XDAI to the Giveth project, you'll get the NICE token, and then you can use the NICE token to buy swag in our swag shop. So it's a really cool thing, and it's the intention is to kind of generate more stablecoin donations to the Giveth project, basically to just help out the DAO treasury so we can get some more funds in, especially considering now everything to do with bear market. So Mitch did write the blog post about it, and I wanted to check in with you, Mitch, then about like, are we ready to, when should we announce this? Yeah, I'd love to know what you think.
So right now, the main blocker is putting the front end changes into the dApp itself. So letting the user know that it exists on our homepage and letting them know on the Giveth project page that when they donate X tokens that they're going to get NICE. So just waiting for those to be done. Cherik and Mateo are working on it. The swag shop changes are done. And the documentation is written. So that's my only blocker, is getting those changes into the app itself.
Awesome. So great. Then so the blog is done. I think what we need to do around this is like maybe just coordinate, like we should do a Discord shill. We should probably write a tweet thread about it and at least have these comms pieces ready for launch. I mean, it's great that the documentation's done and the docs are done. I have a quick question. So I guess we should direct people to this ag shop after they get their NICE token, right? And we also want to encourage people to kind of like add more feedback for utility things into the forum. Or what are the CTAs?
Yeah, for sure. And so I think the first thing you mentioned can be added to the modified givebacks email, because they'll get NICE tokens when they get givebacks if they were eligible.
Right.
And the second one, I think, well, I don't know. I'm open to ideas on it.
Yeah. So Ashley, did you or are you the one to update that email perhaps? Just at least like kind of have like a little addition into it, or maybe Ahmad. I'm not sure who's the best person to update the givebacks email.
Yeah, I can do it. I've been handling it for the time being. So yeah, I mean, that's super easy to do.
Okay, cool. So maybe you could just kind of like write one extra kind of thing of like, oh, also if you donated this, or like if you donated XDAI or wrapped XDAI to the Giveth project, your NICE tokens are ready to claim to learn more about NICE. Click here and it'll link to the blog that Mitch wrote.
Yeah,
I
sounds
have a
good.
question, and maybe I can find this from the blog, but it's only for the Giveth community project, or is it also for like the Giveth house and the
For the
matching
Giveth
pool?
project.
Just the Giveth project.
Yeah. We can
Okay.
change it later, but I think we really want our focus to go to treasury liquidity.
Okay. No, that makes sense. I just wanted to clarify so I'm spreading the correct information.
Nice. Great. And does anybody want, I can probably just do this pretty easily, but if somebody wants to take on writing a tweet thread, basically could use like what Mitch wrote in the blog and break it down. Yeah, happy to delegate that to somebody else. Otherwise, I could probably just do it pretty fast. Okay, unless everyone's frozen, then I'll just do it. Oh no, everyone's frozen. Damn.
Yeah,
We
but
still
I'm
hear
also
you.
I'm not hearing anything either from the team. So like, yeah, maybe I can also support you on that. I mean, we're both here this week, running around, but yeah, maybe we can
Sure.
co-work on that as well.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, yeah, if you have the time to do it and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna do this, then just send me a message and then I'll let you take it. Or if not, then I'll let you know.
Yeah, and it's
Uh,
just a matter of priority because I was like at self-assigned myself the tweet to cover Griff's talk from ETH Barcelona because it kind of
mhm.
went hand in hand with like taking sound bites out. So yeah, but like yeah, it just comes down to like which one is more urgent, and I would assume actually the nice one is. But yeah, we can chat about it.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, I'm happy to. There's going to be a few different tweet threads for these things, so we can kind of just split them up.
Yeah.
Great. Great. So I feel good about that for nice token. Unless there's like, and just kind of will give a second to see if anybody has any other suggestions on like how we can bring this in front of donors basically and encourage them to be donating stables. Besides Twitter, we're making a blog, we're sending an email, and we'll send a message in Discord.
Make memes. Make memes. People make.
Ooh, critical work. This is so true. Yeah, we need more memes. Yeah, I think we need more memes in general. And like, so does anyone not understand the concept? Because if you understand the concept, then like the memes can flow out easily from there. So just we can kind of take a second to just clarify anything else that people don't understand.
I actually wanted to read through the blog. If you've got the link, can you include it in the Notion?
Yeah, so there's an issue. Maybe Corey, you could find it in the Giveth planning board. I'm on my phone, so it's hard. There's an issue called like nice token blog post, or maybe Mitch could link it in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
I
just
saw
drop
it here.
the. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was just gonna say I did see it in here somewhere. I was just creating an issue for the tweet thread for the nice token, but I saw another one referenced.
Perfect. Cool. If you could drop the link to the blog post in the Notion for everybody, then that would be helpful too.
Okay.
Okay, and then if there's any questions you can ask in the comms channel, but I think in the interest of time, let's move on to the next thing on the agenda, which is Angel Vault is what it says next. So Angel Vault. So you guys have probably heard about this. It's basically the Angel Vault is something we're partnering with Ichi to do, and it's going to give us structured UniV3 liquidity for the Give token. And anyone in the community can add to the Angel Vault by basically providing liquidity in a token called OneGive. OneGive is a stable token that's 100% backed by DAI. So you can get OneGive by minting it using DAI. So it's like you mint OneGive for one DAI. And then you can provide liquidity with your OneGive on the Ichi website. And then you can stake your LP token in the Give farm. So the development of this, like OneGive can already be minted and you can already add to the Angel Vault. And now we are working on adding the card to the Give farm. But like the important thing to understand for comms is that this is going to allow, it's like multifaceted beneficial. It's like before we had a UniV3 incentives program that really benefited expert liquidity providers over your average user. The Angel Vault means we can have this concentrated Uniswap V3 liquidity, but everybody who's providing liquidity gets rewards in proportion to the amount of liquidity that they provided. So it's kind of a much more fair system that requires a lot less management of positions. So it's like a sweet farming opportunity. And then it also provides a lot of liquidity for the Give token because of the way that UniV3 works. It does this like concentrated liquidity thing instead of having it spread out. And the way they were gonna, the way that Ichi is gonna set it up is that they create like a buy wall. So if there's people selling the Give token, the price doesn't go down as quickly, and then we're gonna have this kind of like managed buy wall that kind of moves as people buy and sell Give tokens. So it's structured UniV3 liquidity that brings fair rewards to people who are providing liquidity, fair even rewards that benefit everyone in the community, not just experts. And it protects the Give token from downward volatility. So it's like 3 points. And what we need is to basically tell people these things and then encourage them to add to the Angel Vault. And yeah, that's going to be ready I'm meeting with the Ichi team guy sometime this week, and we're going to kind of like hash out a few details during Paris. And Amin is already working on developing it to add to the Give farm. So hopefully we can actually launch this sometime probably next week, I imagine, because I imagine this week it'll get ready for testing, and the next week we can kind of launch and announce. We need a tweet thread. We're going to need, I think it might be worthwhile to write a blog post about it, and also like a Discord announcement. But yeah, I would love some support on some of these parts, although it is kind of complicated and difficult to understand. Yeah, I would love some like more ideas of like how we can encourage more people to take part in the Angel Vault program, and also maybe some support of people who are like willing to write content for it. We also need documentation. Anyway, I mean, I could do it all, but it's like, it just ends up being a lot of work for me. So I would love one smart, willing person who wants to learn from me, and I will empower you to eventually be good at doing this stuff.
Well,
Well,
Lauren,
what you said that I don't understand.
go ahead, Kotabe or Sim.
Go, Sim.
I was just saying that there was a lot of what you said, Lauren, that I didn't quite understand. So that's why I'm silent.
It's complicated.
If someone knows more.
It is complicated.
I am familiar.
Like,
I am familiar with the concept. I don't have the best writing skills, but I am familiar with the concepts, so I can help.
Well, and also I just want to let you know, Kotabe, when it comes like with writing skills and stuff like this, a lot of times as long as you can get a skeleton down, like we can get a document, people can go in and make comments and help you, you know, it's just really like getting some of this stuff down and getting it started, getting the ball rolling, and like you get better as you go, you know, but we're here to support you.
Okay, I can do it. I know.
Maybe
I understand the Angel Vault.
Kotabe, would you be willing to write like a skeleton, like even just if you wrote bulleted lists of stuff we should include in the documentation? Because that would be really helpful. If you could just be like, these are the key points, and then like you could turn it into like the written documentation, or like, I mean, Sugu's just an amazing copy editor, and so she could even like help fill in some of the pieces for the docs. That might be a good kind of tag team on that, and would be really helpful.
Okay, so basically, me writing skeleton for documentation and for communication.
Yeah, for the documentation. So there is already an issue. Maybe, Corey, could you assign Kotabe? I think I made an issue for Angel Vault documentation. If not, maybe you could create it.
We have one for tweet thread and one for blog posts. So do you mean something different with documentation?
Yes. Yeah, this is for the docs. So if you could make one more issue and assign Kotabe, and then Kotabe, maybe you could just write a one-page Google Doc thing and make it like comment access, and then I'll review it, and then maybe we can get somebody else to fill it out a little to support you with the writing.
Great. Yeah.
Cool. That's helpful. Yeah, and I guess regarding the blog post, I'd love to know if you guys, do you think that a blog post for this would be valuable, useful, and like worth probably my time? Or is someone talking? Or am I just hearing a weird echo?
I'm not sure where that sound's coming from, actually. Okay. It's all good.
Okay.
In
So,
my
what
opinion,
do you-
all of these should be blogs, for sure. Everything that we do, in my opinion, should be blog, that because then our newsletter can link to it. We can obviously link to it from the site. It always lives there as content ongoing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, if we're already writing documentation for the docs, it's pretty easy to take that and just kind of add some like voice or flavor to it and make that be a blog post as well.
Definitely.
Also,
Okay.
I think with like all of these, we should also record videos and also add it to the donor course as well, because each of those we can easily record like a screen recording and just show people how to do it. And I think that would go a long way.
That's a great idea. Corey, can you make an issue for that one too? Just like video for Angel Vault
Yeah.
and video for Nice Token. If you could make 2 more issues, then at least they're there. I think it's a great idea.
And give power as well, right? I mean, once it's
Yeah.
launched. Yeah.
Give power as well. But we haven't talked about give power yet. It's the 3rd item on the agenda. Okay, well, great, cool. That's good feedback. All right, we'll write a blog. I'll write a blog, or maybe someone else will write the blog based on Kotabe's list. But
Kotabe and
great.
Suga are going to be working together. Maybe the blog is just a summarized version, and like Ashley said, with a little bit of flavor in it, but really just a summarized version of the documentation.
Yeah. Suga, are you consenting to any of this? We're talking about you all the time, but
Yeah, you write really well, Suga, so be there.
I'll message her after the call. I think she's on the side of the stage at ECC, so it's a bit tough. Okay, great. Cool. Next thing is the Give Power launch. So cool. I posted recently a forum post that is explaining Give Power. So I would love it if everybody could read this, because anyway, of all these things, Give Power is like a major, I mean, all these things are important, but Give Power is a major milestone on the long-term Giveth roadmap. The whole concept of Give Power is really to build win-win relationships between a project's supporters and the project itself. With Give Power, people will be able to stake and lock tokens and earn a yield, and then they get Give Power, which is voting power for projects on the DApp. They can allocate Give Power to the projects that they believe in, and then those projects get a higher ranking, and then they get extra benefits. These benefits are basically the top ranked projects. When people donate to them, instead of getting the 75% givebacks, they get more. They get like 78% or 79%. And also, we're going to use Give Power as a way to influence the way we distribute matching funds. So we have to give matching pool, and when we start to send out matching funds to projects, Give Power and a project's ranking based on their Give Power supporters is going to be one of the major influencing factors on how those funds go out. So there's your like couple of minutes, my best quick summary of what Give Power is, but it is like explained more largely in the forum post. And this launch that's coming up in the next couple of weeks is going to be only the MVP of Give Power. It's going to be that people are going to be able to stake and lock their Give tokens, and they'll get Give Power, but they won't be able to do anything with that Give Power yet. The reason that we're trying to launch this now, instead of like launch it all together once the other side is developed as well, is because especially with the bear market coming up, getting people to lock up their Give tokens is really good for Giveth. It's like if they're locking up their Give tokens, they're not selling their Give tokens, they're not dumping them, they're somewhere else and they're earning a yield. And the reason that someone would want to lock up their Give tokens is because if they lock for a longer period of time, they get a multiplier on their rewards. So instead of earning 20% APR, they could earn 100% APR. They could earn up to 5 times the amount of rewards by locking them for a year. So you can lock for like any length of time between, you can lock for a number of rounds. You can lock for, and a round is a givebacks round, it's a 2-week period. So you can lock for 1 round, which is 2 weeks, or 2 rounds, which is 1 month, or 3 rounds, which is like a month and a half, etc. Up to a year, 26 rounds. So, yeah, this is going to be like pretty important. So I think like of all these things, like maybe the Angel Vault, probably not everyone has to understand. But Give Power would be great if everyone could understand, because like we're going to need a lot of support in, and I mean the more like energy we can put to like selling Give Power, not selling, but like, you know, explaining to people what is Give Power and getting people excited about this, then the better it is like for the long-term vision. Eventually this will like turn into the whole GURBS thing and the nonprofits to DAOs thing. So in the next couple of weeks, the test deployment of the staking and locking thing is already ready. And I've been doing some testing in Kotabe and Giveth, and it's like we're trying to get it like, you know, tested well and ready to go. And then we're going to be launching and announcing that But yeah, we need to announce it as basically like you can stake and lock your Give tokens, and coming soon you'll get Give Power. And I think there is value in explaining to people like what is Give Power now when we first launch, so that we start to get people excited about it. And then when it actually becomes something you can do, people are already a little familiar with it rather than it being so many parts. I mean, I just tried to explain it in like 5 minutes, and probably you were like, okay, I kind of get it. And you were like, wait, that was a lot, you know? So if it was only the first half, it's like you stake and lock Give tokens, you earn a yield. Lock for longer, you get more rewards. Soon, you will be able to support projects on Giveth without donating. Like, that's, you know. And then it's like, how does the boosting work? You allocate Give Power to different projects. You can change your allocation based on these percentages and blah, blah, blah. That comes later, you know? So yeah, I mean, I think we need to make a blog post now about Give Power and the first like staking and locking launch. And then it's like, we really want to bring people in to start using that and start locking their tokens. We need some good memes about this. Like, I don't know, I just, Ahmad's made a comment on the forum post that was like, can't wait to lock up my Give tokens and throw away the key, which is very funny. Maybe not the best meme, but I like where his head's at, you know. It's like really good, bringing people into the ecosystem kinds of memes that we need for Give Power. And so if we could kind of just get people understanding, like at least everybody who's like in the call, read the forum post, understand it, and ask questions, and start to come up with like some memeable concepts. Maybe we can even make like a thread in the comms channel, or we could make an issue right now in GitHub to like add in the memes. Honestly, I've been like making a lot of them up myself, right? Like since I started, you know, working on this product, but like there's so many great, smart, creative people here that like we can come up with better ways of explaining it than I'm currently using, probably. Yeah, so if we can like just create an issue right now of like, you know, Give Power memes, and then have people start throwing their ideas in there, or you can use the forum post as a place to ask questions and start to kind of like iterate on how we explain this. But yeah, and then like for actionable items, we need to make a blog post for the first part of the launch and a tweet thread. And I think this is something also like if we can activate the Facebook, getting this out on Facebook is going to be useful as well, because it's something that not only benefits, you know, your yield farming type audience, but also is going to benefit projects. So starting to explain to projects as well how Give Power works is going to be valuable too. Anyway, that was a long rant. Go ahead.
Do you have a plan to have like a testing party for it? I think it would be really helpful if I could like try it out, and maybe other people on the call here, we could try it out, and it would help us to explain it to other people. Is that in the works, or is it at a place? You said you and Kotabi have been testing it, but is there a way that everybody could get in there and just play around and maybe understand it better?
Yes. There, you know, actually, I recorded the call where I explained to Kotabi and Jivon how to use Give Power. So maybe we could share that. Maybe Jesse, could you share the link to that video? You were there. It was called Give Power Testing Party or something. Could you share that in the comms channel right now and tag at Comstar? Jesse, are you there?
And I will be happy to facilitate some tokens to everyone that wants to test, and also help if you get stuck in somewhere.
Amazing. Yeah, okay, so send your address. If you want to test Give Power and play around with it, send your address for Gnosis Chain to Kotabe. If you could just DM your address to him, and then Kotabe, if you could distribute tokens. And then can anybody else find that video and post it in the channel? It's just on the Giveth Transparency YouTube channel. It should be under, maybe Ashley, could you do this? You're amazing at this stuff.
I found it and I'm posting it now.
You're the best. Thank you. So if you guys could watch that video, I did already explain to them like in kind of a testing party how to do it. And then after the fact, if there's questions, I'm happy to have another call and like do a testing party all together and have people asking questions. Honestly, it would be great to go through it with you all as well, to have this like feedback as to like, I don't understand what's happening now, you know, because then we could add maybe some modals or some tool tips, or like change the design a little bit. I don't want to change the design a lot, but we could change the way that things are a little bit before we launch so that it's easy for people to get into it. if it's not easy for our team, it's going to be like harder for the rest of the world. So action items. If everybody could read the forum post and ask questions, start brainstorming some memes, watch the testing video, and like start learning how to test the product, and send Kotabi your address. Then afterwards we can schedule a call and do a hack session at a testing party, hack party together. I'd be really happy to do that. Yeah, with the main end goal of being like, so that our entire comms team understands Give Power, knows how to explain it to other people, so that we can start producing more content and making it easy for people to understand.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. We should all be self-onboarding onto this topic, onto all of these topics.
Yeah, I'm sorry it's a lot, and then probably I feel like I didn't bring people in sooner.
No, it's good. I don't think the Give Power is that complicated. That means a lot coming from me.
Yeah.
I think Give Power is pretty digestible. Angel Vault, I have a little PTSD from my tweet assignment back in the day. But maybe I know a lot more about it than I think now. So yeah, and I think the nice token is pretty straightforward as well. So we just gotta dive in and get the content out.
Well, and I'm curious too, with all these launches and things coming up and there's so much happening, I wonder if like we don't consider having like making our newsletter bi-weekly, and that gives us an extra place to like put some of these communications. I know in the Connect call we were talking about being a little bit concerned about email strategy and stuff like this, and I think that maybe through our newsletter and the people who sign up to receive this type of communication, it would be a great place to put that in. And if we did it in smaller chunks, like every 2 weeks rather than just once a month, maybe we can put these like smaller digestible bits in there as we go. So it's not just a lot to dump on everybody in a month. A lot happens in a month.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, definitely. If we have enough content for it, and everyone here can help me source things, I mean, I'd be happy to send it twice a month.
Crazy how much things have ramped up. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, you're still collecting information like for people to send you stuff? It's like DMs or what's the best way still to send that to you? Is there an issue to put it in, or where do we put it?
Usually I make an issue in the last week and people just fill it up. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, we could send it before, or if we make an issue now, even we can start filling it up.
Yeah, or even just if we had like a spreadsheet or like maybe a main place where we can just put this kind of, maybe it doesn't have to be a spreadsheet or document. I don't know. I don't know what's best, but it's just something that I was thinking.
Actually, that does make sense to have like a running newsletter document, right? I mean, you could also have you could always create the issue linking to it, but then like as things pop up, like it can always be added to, right, for the next one.
I mean, there also was the idea of having like a content calendar as well. So then we know like these are the things that we want to talk about across all of our channels. So maybe that would be better. And then you could tag things there that you want to have featured in the newsletter.
Yeah, okay.
How is
there
the
is-
Yeah,
Go
I don't
ahead.
know. I know there's a lot of things to talk about, so maybe we don't jump into the content planning thing.
Right.
There is that already created if you wanted to look and see if it would be good for this purpose, where people would be able to just slot in topics. We can
Yeah, I
chat
mean, for
after.
now, we could use it just for the newsletter, you know, and then in the future, if people want to also use it for other purposes, like what things we want to have featured on Twitter or anywhere else, we could also add things to it. But yeah, I mean, for now, we could just, only use it for the newsletter. It would be easy.
Yeah, just a place for idea generation that doesn't expire, because like, GitHub goes in sprints, right? So it's hard to keep these ongoing tasks in GitHub.
No, true. No, that's a good point.
Okay. Cool. Content planner. And does everyone have access to the content planner, by the way? Or Sim, could you help like maybe facilitate that?
Yes, I can I'll take a look at it afterwards. I haven't looked at it in a couple of weeks, and then I'll just see if it's good for the purpose, and then I can put it onto our channel.
Okay. And one last thing I wanted to mention, like, so we said for all of these launches now, like, it's important that we have documentation, blog posts, then also tweet threads. And like, I would assume probably the smartest way to go about this is just to ensure the documentation and the blog posts are done first, because like it kind of everything derives from the next thing, right? So documentation, you can create a blog post referencing that, and then you can create a tweet thread pretty simply from a blog post. So does it make sense also for us to prioritize the content in that way?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And then also probably prioritizing like nice over the nice token this week over, for instance, give power because of timing. Do I have that right?
Yeah, definitely. Although I think the nice token is a lot easier to understand. So I feel like then you could go through the nice stuff and be like, I get it. And then look at give power. No, then look and you look at the angel vote and then you're like, I don't get it. And then you look at give power and you're like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, the angel vault I would start writing about like yesterday, but that's just me. Because by the time I'm like done, it's like, yeah. But yeah, okay, that's fine. So just general prioritization of each one and then also the content within it. So okay, cool.
Yeah, and I think it also is useful if we can kind of like divide and conquer, so it's like, some people are more focused on give power and a couple of people are more focused on nice. And, if we just kind of like, divide our resources among these different products instead of having everybody trying to do everything, it's also great. Although I think that, I'm not sure exactly the best way to split up the team here for this right now.
That's a good question. That's one thing I just want to like add here now, because like here we are, right? We have a bunch of issues we just created. We're talking about like several blog posts, several tweet threads. It's like content that takes time to produce. And there's like X amount of us here. And I know it's not really the nature to just like go in and assign people to things. So we could ask also like, please, I don't know, does everybody want to commit to taking one? Or how do we want to get this done? Because I think the assigning part is like the critical thing right now to kick it off in terms of timing. And I don't want to put anyone on the spot or just like throw people into things, but like I think we just need to make sure every issue has an assignee. Like I would say today, let's just do it. And then we know like based on the prioritization, like which ones are like, especially like nice, we need fully assigned right now. Like clearly.
Yeah, well, the blog post and the documentation is already done for nice. Like Mitch has already done it. The documentation
True.
just needs somebody to review it, I think. But the blog post is already in Medium and ready to go. So I think for nice, it's like making memes and like, and somebody to make a tweet thread off of Mitch's blog post. It's pretty easy. Honestly, like if nobody did it, I would just do it the day I wanted to send it, because I would just, I would probably write it in 20 minutes.
Okay, cool. Well, that's
you
good.
used to make memes.
Flip.
Like someone has, yeah.
I use image flip, imgflip.com, I think. But you could just search image flip and it's super easy. Like you just scroll through, you look at pictures and then you're like, that's funny. And you click on it and then you write some captions. And you guys, when you're making memes, it's quantity over quality. Just make a ton and keep posting them, because you never know what's going to land. And sometimes you just like really nail it and then there's a few flops and that's totally fine. But we have a meme channel on the Discord and it hasn't been active lately. It would be great to kick it up a little. So just take some time, like during your week, go on Image Flip and have fun for like an hour or half an hour. Just make as many memes as you can. Yeah, and like a fun thing to do as well is like if you wanted to get fancy, you could add the Giveth logo onto your memes. So if you need access to that, maybe we could just put a link in the Notion right now, but it's like if you go to like design assets in the GitHub, there's like a ton of our transparent background token logos, and you could just add it to any meme and it really kicks it up a notch.
Link in Notion, or in Discord in communications. Please.
Ashley, can you do that? Because I know you know where it is. Can you link the people, Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, I put it in the chat, but like where in the Notion? Okay, I'll put it
Maybe
in
put in the Notion, yeah.
Okay.
So the tweet thread is already assigned, like, kind of to both of us. I guess we can, like, knock that out. There's also the video walkthrough. Is that seen as like also something we want completed this week? I would think so, but
For the nice token, you mean?
yeah, I'm just looking at the most urgent thing for the nice token. We have video walkthrough and we have like the memes.
I mean, the thing is with the video walkthrough, like the front end has to be live first, which I don't think is the case yet, right?
Oh, for the actual, yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. I'm gonna add a note in there, like pending when the front end is live. All right, cool. Okay. And then the memes, is this you guys is this like a group a group tackle, as we were saying?
Yeah, memes is a group tackle. It's like a group tackle and no specific schedule, and put as many as you can in the memes channel. Ashley linked it in the chat.
Cool. I'm gonna add that to in progress. It'll be a little more visible. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, the bigger thing is probably gonna be self-assigning to the Angel Vault. Okay, so I'll just kind of check in on the Angel Vault issues over the next days, and then send some friendly reminders, and we just, need to get it assigned.
Yeah, I'll probably write the blog post for that. I think if I don't write it, it might end up being a lot more kind of like back and forth of explaining things. And if I write it, then it'll be like a resource for everyone to learn from it. So I'll try to write that. But I would love it, Kotabi, if you could make that like documentation list. It would also help me in writing the blog post. So I'll, give you a couple of days to do that, and then I'll write the blog post, and then the Angel Vault tweet thread. After that's written, then anybody who feels comfortable can take on the tweet thread.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. I think that's a good point to move on from. There's a lot of items on this list. So just looking at ETH Barcelona, I think, is one of the most relevant in terms of timing still to check in on again, but there's a couple other here. So Lauren, just tell me, like BitDAO, proposal exposure, for instance. These ones I'm not very familiar with. If anything here is like really urgent.
Is really important. So I definitely want to give it a second. So BitDAO is a DAO, and they like invest money in cool projects. And it's like every project that's kind of like gone through with a proposal has gotten like millions of dollars invested into it. So it's like Yas and Griff have been working on a proposal to BitDAO, basically to get them to invest in Giveth and the Give economy. And this would look like them giving us like $5 million in stables and us giving them 5% of the Give market cap. So hopefully we can give it to them via a stream of Give tokens, but like kind of what we need right now is to get more exposure on the proposal. So it's not super hard to understand, but like I think just having like one person be assigned to looking into it and supporting Yas with some communications and coming up with some ideas of like how to expose this more. There was a Twitter space that Griff and Yas were part of where he explained Giveth's proposal to BitDAO. So the first step would be for that champion of this proposal to listen to that Twitter space and like even break it down into a thread or bullet point lists, and then start to kind of use what came out of that call in our communications.
I agree with Griff that I will dive a bit deeper into that one, so I can take that.
And my phone is.
I have a question. Like, what does it mean to get more exposure? Like, do we want people to go to the forum post and to comment on it? Or, I mean, is there anything that we could do to increase our chances?
Yeah, I think it looks like getting people to go to the forum post, and like at first there was like a vote on it, and then yeah, I think we want to just get more people like bringing attention to it so that we can attract people from their community to our proposal, so that we can kind of like start, how are we going to do this discussions with their like key players. Right now it's like the forum post hasn't gotten too much engagement, although in the Twitter space, like everybody who was there listening to Griff explain like what our plans are at Giveth, everybody was really blown away. Like it was an awesome Twitter space. He did a great job. So yeah. But the other thing is I'm not 100% sure of exactly how to go forward with this because I haven't been looking deeply into it. So Yas would know better than me what's necessary and required. So Katavi, if you're looking into it, then like definitely speak to Yas and get her to kind of explain a little bit more about what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess I'm
Cool.
thinking like, I mean, like a couple of things that maybe we can do is just have all of us go there and leave a comment if we can, and then also maybe we can invite someone from BitDAO into the weekly community call. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, it would be cool to learn a little bit more about BitDAO as well. It seems like a good idea to partner with them because we would get a lot of stables out of it, which would be really helpful to sustain our community throughout the bear market and as we're continuing to build things. But there's also kind of like a risk of like giving them 5% of our market cap.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Kotabi, I created an issue and tagged you on that for the Twitter space. Just as a reminder for you.
Yeah, and reach out to Yas if you need a link to it. Okay, cool. So yeah, we are really running out of time. Man, and now I can't see Sim's share screen for whatever reason. I think my internet sucks. I don't know what the next points are.
Yeah, we have like a bi-weekly tweet about farming rewards.
It's okay, we can talk about that later.
Okay, multiple addresses for multiple chains, tweet thread. You had mentioned this.
Yeah, so there's 2 small products being released from the DApp, and we just need to like make some tweet threads about it. So if somebody kind of wants to get like more involved with, yeah, like what products we're adding to the DApp. Like I mean, Ashley, you know all about the project verification forum. I know you don't like writing tweet threads, but I don't know anything about it. So it would be.
I can help with that, and I can help with the multiple addresses for multiple chains one. I'm working with the devs right now. There's actually a lot of confusion with users because it just says Gnosis address, and so people are thinking it's a Gnosis safe address, and like there's a little bit of confusion. So I think before we really blast it off in communications, we should clean up these things. And the form isn't actually on production yet. We're still kind of like honing things, so I'd be the best to know once it's actually finalized and ready and all the information about it. So I can definitely put at least some things together, but somebody will have to go back and actually write it so that it's for Twitter.
If you could even just like, since you're so like involved in the process, if you could, once it comes to a point where you're like, no, it's ready to launch, if you could just tell me or like write a list of what it is, like bullet points kind of thing, then I can make it easily into a tweet thread to share it. But it's just, I have no idea what it's about. I mean, I know,
perfect.
but I don't know the details of.
Yeah, I can write a summary once it's ready for both of those bullet points.
That's super helpful. Thank you.
I can help with this one too. I wanted to I need to kind of figure out the multiple addresses thing too for the video. So I'm kind of working on something along these lines anyways.
Okay,
So,
well, I'll just try to maybe like I'll let you just both know whenever it's ready, and then maybe like kind of send a paragraph or a little like update. But I'll keep you in the loop too, Benz.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Okay, cool. What's the question on that? isn't that just one part of the project sign-on process? Should it be a tweet thread rather than a blog with steps on how projects step by step would register themselves? I'm asking because there was a project that I was helping during this morning, and I was chatting to Ashley, and I didn't know where to reference, where to push them to get a step by step, and they were battling with this very issue of the Ethereum address versus the Gnosis chain.
Yeah, yeah. So I've gotten feedback from a couple of people, and we're working on changing that, and also maybe adding some verification that it's somehow you can check to make sure that it's actually, you know, a valid address on that chain and throw an error if it's not, or some clarification this way, because otherwise people are going to just be adding random addresses. I don't want to use up any more comms time, but yeah, I want to clarify that, and step by step, I think that's the video course that we're currently working on. We'll provide those step by step instructions in the future, but yeah, right now we don't have that.
Maybe we can just create an issue for that and like put it in the backlog so that we can kind of take it on after some of these other blog posts. I think it would be a really useful resource, especially once we add in those new features. Corey, can you make an issue for that?
Yeah. I'm just gonna call it the same way it's written here, multiple addresses for multiple chains.
I would call it instead
content.
call it like project step-by-step guide for adding your project to Giveth. Something like
Okay.
that. Because that's just going to be one part of the multiple addresses thing is just one part of the whole.
Okay. And just add it to the backlog. All right.
Perfect.
All right, cool. Yeah, and then in terms of anything else regarding content, there was still also the project verification forum tweet
Oh,
thread.
no, that's fine. That was
Okay.
we talked about it too.
Okay, right. And yeah, I mean, honestly, we have like a minute left, so I'm not even sure. We had a couple more items for the agenda, which were ETH Barcelona, like content check-in. So I would say this is more of a reminder to everyone to please check like the new issues section regarding ETH Barcelona. We had put issues in there. Just like let's make sure that we're also moving those forward. And yeah, we can provide an update like next week on the influencer outreach recap. We had a nice call last week, but that's like something we can easily talk about next week.
Yeah,
And
also, I know, like, I just wanted to say, I know we only have a little bit left, but the fundraising 101 session, that's happening in less than a week, so we definitely need to do some communications about that. And I just wanted to suggest that sometimes in the past, if we had a call like this, or it just seems like there's a lot going on in communications right now, we'll have an additional hack session in the week. So if it's useful and people are available, we can meet again sooner than just in a whole nother week and talk on some of these other issues as well so that we can get through them.
yep. Yeah, I also or like co-working sessions I think are also really nice, like dedicated sessions like producing work. But yeah, whatever you guys find is helpful.
I'm down to have another co-working session later in the week. We could do kind of like half finishing talking about these issues and then like half we make it into a meme party or we all work on stuff meme party. Maybe we could just make a doodle. I think everybody, is there anybody who's not in Europe time zone right now?
Me.
Oh, you're in Mexico, right? Okay. Okay, cool. Maybe we could do it then. We'll do it at a more friendly time. I was like, we could do it Europe morning. Boom.
I mean,
Okay.
don't let me prevent you from co-working. Like, if you can.
Yeah, maybe also by topic, depending if people want to knock some stuff out together. Ashley, just to be clear for the fundraising event, how do you want to handle that? Do you want to write something in the comms channel about that since we didn't get time to speak about it today?
We talked about it a bit in the Connect call. Melody was going to put a short description of what the actual content will be about, and then we'll develop, I think, one email and maybe some other content to share in Discord and on Twitter around it. Not like push it too hard in email right now, but just start with what we can share. So she's going to make like a little skeleton just so that we have information to provide to people. So check the issue. It should be on the planning board. I don't know the number offhand. And we can use that content to create the things, but we just got to make sure to get it out because it's really, I mean, it's like a week away.
Okay. Yeah.
But
There's already an issue.
we don't
Okay.
need to feel like a lot of pressure around it either. Like, let's just, like we said, do what we can. This is the first of a recurring, Kotabe even brought it, it's the first of a recurring thing. And, you know, we learn as we go and we get better as we go. So we just do what we can now and people will come and we'll do it again.
Okay, cool. All right. Awesome. Well then, yeah, I know we're at time, so I want to respect your time. Just gonna put a note here. Yeah, maybe we can find sessions to connect again later in the week. And anyways, we'll go over the rest also in detail again next week. So thanks a lot.
Can I add something very quickly? Just I put on the agenda also the Violet Verse will have a media salon in Paris for ECC. I went, so I made a connection with Barcelona, and they kind of like invited us to that media salon. I made my research, a little bit of research about the Violet Verse. I cannot find that much, so I don't know if it's worth it. But for anyone that is in Paris, if you want to check it out, and if you want me to make the connection, I can do it. It's there on the Notion. So if you're in Paris and think about that this might be good for Giveth, then I can try to make the connection. I think the project is just starting, so maybe it doesn't make that much sense.
But okay, thanks for highlighting that. Since we're here, like we should definitely just look. Cool. All right. Thanks. Anything else?
So we should look for a doodle from you, and that's, or like in the communications call, we'll figure out if we're gonna meet again sooner. I'm unsure how to find out if we're gonna have like a co-working session and when and how I can find it.
Yeah, I didn't hear a ton of input here on that, so maybe we can just chat about that in the comms call and then see what would work. I think it might be more effective to have lots of mini sessions between people. Just kind of an encouragement, I'd say, other than like us coming together as a group because we have a lot of different things to tackle. But that's just my opinion on it. So
okay, all right.
Happy to
I'll
chat with
keep
somebody.
an eye on the communications channel to learn where to go.
Okay.
On the topics that I included on here, I'll write on the comms channel the people that I'll chat to out of this sync. Maybe we can create separate co-working sessions for that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, co-working sessions are cool. All right. Sweet. Okay. I guess I'll see you guys in the channel.
All right, see you there.
Bye.
Good to see you guys.
Take care,
It was a lot
everyone.
to
Hey guys,
go
thank you.
through.